paraphrase something that Joe Tarsia once said. The Philadelphia sound is soul music dressed in a tuxedo.
So this project is titled Uncovering the Philly Groove. We're taking unmixed recordings from the Philly Groove record label and providing Reservoir Media listenable mixes and hopefully coming up with something that could provide material for a compilation album.
My name is Faith Newman. I am Senior Vice President at Reservoir. We are a music publishing company and the proud owners of the Philly Groove catalog. All of this music exists. And it's really, really good, and it needs to be heard.
My name is Bobby Eli. I'm one of the original founders of MFSB.
My name is Will Hart, and I was blessed to be in a rock and roll group, R&B group, Delphonics.
My involvement in this project as the professor is to oversee the students' mixes. Initially, I let them mix unaided so that I could see where the mixes take them. From that point on, I'm going to spend the rest of the term looking very closely to these mixes and guiding them to a finished product.
We've been trying to basically mix them with fresh ears and really kind of speak to the sound of the 70s and give it a modern twist.
Already the raw tracks are just sweet.
I established the archive as a research library so that musicologists, researchers of record production could have access to the material in a meaningful way and help tell the story of Philadelphia music.
Because Philadelphia always had some sort of record biz music scene. When one entity finished, somebody else came along.
Everybody recognizes the sound of Philadelphia. And it was a blessing to be a part of actually creating that sound.
I want the students to reimagine it on their own. Totally just listen to it like a bunch of sounds and what are you going to do with it? And then on the other hand, I wanted them to just really get into that sound of the late 60s, early 70s. I would hope that this led them to do some research on soul music.
I'm actually researching the sound of this era myself through my band, who played a show with George Clinton.
I've been referencing songs from the 70s, but mostly I've been listening back to those songs from the archives and really listening to what came out of Philly in the 70s because I think that speaks more to what the sound should be like.
Trying to find a reference point basically by combining what my ear tells me it should sound like and what I've heard over the years and what I've heard doing my research.
You might be able to invent the way that you're doing it, but the outcome is your ear. Yeah, I know that the way that we did things are totally different than the way that they're going to do it.
In the 70s, it was all out of the box, it was all analog, so they didn't have, the capability that I have with my laptop now.
It's not so much in the box or out the box, is if you're working in the box, you have to have the knowledge of what to do with the plugins.
You can compare 30 different EQs on the same track and you can spend 3 hours just getting that sound the perfect way that you want it, whereas in the 70s, you had maybe 2 or 3 or 4 EQs and that was it.
On those earlier Delphonics records, most of those sessions were recorded live, one room at the same time.
We had all the musicians, the horns, the strings, the rhythm section in the studio at one time. And we never recorded like that before. In fact, that's the only time that we ever recorded like that. And we pulled that off in one take.
I'm enjoying the change between the isolation and having more of an ensemble feel and really having so many tracks to work with, like a full arrangement. It's a lot nicer to mix that way because everything kind of exists together.
Within the audio archive in Drexel, we have hundreds of tracks available for research, but very few of them are available for this type of collaboration. What made this really possible was having Reservoir Media being open to the possibility and the idea of collaborating and involving students.
It's the importance of keeping it alive. This is really special music. It's soul music. It's of a time and a place that will never be again. And at the same time, it's undiscovered music.
Know that they can learn if they study what we did. It's all right to do it your own way, but you have to find out the foundation and how it was done. Once you understand that, then you'll come out better.
I think it's a beautiful thing, especially with what Drexel is doing. As far as I know, nobody's went into the vaults and examined the music and what we had to offer. And I think this is just the beginning of what can be. if you listen to part 2 of Engine Number 9, there's a long guitar solo in there, and he says, "Play that guitar, son." So I was the son that was playing the guitar.
I was an A&R person for many years, Def Jam Records, Columbia Records, Jive Records, and I signed Nas. So there you go. I have nothing else to say after that.
Nice. That's a good one.